Greetings everyone, I am Dr. Wolf, and today I wanted to talk about some animatics that were recently released for the upcoming Season 8 My Little Pony finale. Now, I am going to be getting into some spoiler territory, so for anyone who wanted to avoid any such material, this is your only warning. Now, in the first animatic, we see Yona falling from the clouds, and what looks to be Starlight trying to cast a spell to get her back up and her magic failing, and then the rest of the non-winged creatures falling through the clouds as well. Now that suggests to me that there might be something that is causing magic to fail for a lot of creatures throughout Equestria. That this may not be just an isolated incident. And given that it's a finale, I'm betting that's the route they're going. Because you want to make an interesting finale, you gotta set some really high stakes. They did that very well for the Season 4 finale, where T-Rex was basically stealing every pony's magic, but not so much of the Season 7 finale, where the Pony of Shadows was only talked about being this great threat, but we were never actually shown it. So, let's see more show and not tell with this season finale. Let's hope. Now, in the second animatic, we see Twilight using this gem to open this great door, which shatters, I guess it's a one-time use thing. I don't know exactly where this is leading to, but my suspicion is that they're making their way into Tartarus. Again, I'm not sure, but makes a lot of sense. If magic is failing throughout Equestria, that would be a very compelling reason for them to be going into Tartarus, wouldn't it? Like, if they were somehow led to believe that that is the source for magic failing. But I don't know if that's for sure where they're going, because when they get in there, they find a cockatrice, of all things. Now, of course, most of them, minus Pinky, immediately close their eyes and are aware of the danger it poses, or at least the danger it should pose, because not a single one of them are turning to stone, which could be for a couple of reasons. Magic is failing for even monstrous creatures like a cockatrice, or this particular cockatrice is not interested in turning these ponies to stone. That begs the question as to why, but I could see either of those things working. We're gonna have to wait and see how that turns out. Now, in the third animatic, we see the Student 6, or at least 5 of the Student 6, are stuck in a room, which I assume is at Twilight School of Friendship, and they're talking about how they're locked in and how Sandbar has betrayed them. And that leads me to think this is all a setup. If magic is failing in Equestria, that would be a very compelling reason to get Twilight and the gang to leave the school, thereby leaving it vulnerable, and someone else comes in to take control and try to make sure that Twilight and the gang can't come back. Now, I remember from a review not too long ago that I was making a prediction about some of these artifacts that each of the Student 6 were researching for a little event at the school, you know, when Starlight, Glimmer, and Discord were having their little spat with each other, that these little artifacts would eventually be needed, and that the Student 6 would be the only ones who could wield them. And I think that this is a pretty good setup to make it worthwhile. My big fear as to why these artifacts would be needed is that if you're going to remove all of the adults out of the equation, that the reasoning would either be too convoluted or too simple to make the story engaging. But thus far, if you have magic failing in Equestria, Twilight and the others off in some other part of the world, possibly Tartarus, but again, I'm not sure, and it could be that these artifacts are the only way to restore balance. And I'm pretty sure there is one character in particular who would be behind all of this. they're going to set it up at the beginning of the season that he has beef with Twilight. Then surely, much like with the start and the end of season 5, Starlight Glimmer, then start and the end of season 8, it's got to be Chancellor Naysay, right? It would make a lot of sense. And I do remember from some earlier news that T-Rex voice actor has already recorded lines for his character. I'm betting that he may also be making an appearance during this finale if Chancellor Naysay could somehow find a way to compel him on his side. I'm not entirely sure how that's possible, given how T-Rex has made it very clear he works alone, but I don't know. It's a lot of interesting setup. And I'm quite intrigued, but we'll see exactly how it turns out. In the meantime, though, what are your thoughts on all these little tidbits that they are spoiling for us? What kind of story could this turn out to be? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And until next time, I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you.